think that's to do with a switch to aggression, right? Because you go back to when he's being picked, at the same time things like Warlock were being spammed because of the recovery aspect of Shadow Word, of Voodoo Restoration. But they did make Witch Doctor a little bit more viable with the buffs to Maledict's cooldown again.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Like, I think this hero played against some like I don't know, undying like dive you lane. You just cast 2 people under the tower. It's really good. It's actually decent against the aggression of Clock. However, Clock is very good in this game versus all 3 of these heroes. I would say you can run them down with Battery Assault. Sure, they have, you know, like you have High Armor Revenge, you have the heal from Witch Doctor, but they all can't cast their stuff very easily with the Clockwork. And the magic damage just like bursts all 3 of these heroes. Honestly, I used to consider Clockwork the hardest counter to Pudge, because you hook somebody, he hooks you, you can't dismember, your Rot does damage to you, while Battery Assault doesn't do damage to himself. So Clockwork just like wins the trade, and he totally breaks up the fight from long range if you hook somebody in.
Yeah, it basically turns it into a 2v1 as well. Like, instantly just backfires against you, because one of the big advantages of Pudge is that separation of one individual from the entire team, right?
Yep. Same thing with, like, you know, Storm is pretty good against Pudge for the same reason. Earthshaker is pretty decent against Pudge just because it's like this long range. Pudge hooks somebody out, starts dismembering somebody, of the Fissure to just break up the fight, and then also Pudge tends to like start the fight and everybody groups up and you can kind of counter initiate. Any counter initiator is like really good against Pudge if played in a way where you're like countering the initiation hooks, then it's very good. Juggernaut, good against Clock. Not particularly good against Pango though. At least in the laning stage. Pango has almost 0 way of dying to the Juggernaut unless he really messes up. Jug can't just like spin him down like he can with every other hero. This is interesting draft from FlyToMoon because they picked this crazy like nutso Pudge hero, but they're picking very stable picks with it this time. Like Venge, Witch Doctor, Jug. Are you ever upset to see these heroes on your team in a pub? They're just regular balanced heroes. And this is not. This is an imbalanced hero. This is literally the 2nd best hero in Dota, and I'm surprised that people aren't just first phasing it.
It's the Gold Snatcher. He's the literal booty hunter in 2 forms, right? He's just going to try and tap people down. At the same time, he's just going to tap them like a keg and just drain their gold. It's probably one of the most interesting, also frustrating mechanics they've introduced to Dota in the last few years. Stealing. I legitimately
consider this hero to be like gambler level stupid right now. This bounty hunter. It's just in the current state of the meta, I think bounty hunter is not okay and needed to be nerfed in the previous patch, because like everybody was building Midases, because with the creep gold changes there's way less gold on the map, so people would get Midases on heroes that can also use them to fight with the attack speed. But now Midas has been nerfed, gold has been nerfed, thank god bounties haven't been nerfed, but bounty hunter, his track still gives the same amount of gold. In fact, it gives more gold than it used to. Like since the rework, Tracked gives the same amount of gold, Janata steals gold. So it's like, with how little gold there is available on the map, a hero that doesn't have to build Midas and can just get everybody a huge influx of... Like, basically, Bounty gives you old Dota gold in new Dota, where nobody's getting a lot of gold anymore. And that's like taking a Dota hero and putting it into League of Legends. Take any Dota hero, put it into League of Legends, and it's going to obliterate. That's what Bounty is, except from some, like, 4-dimensional game above Dota. And Mars, but he's not in Captain's mode.
Yeah, he's not there yet. Soon. Tears in people's eyes. I think you're right, though. It's kind of like this hero's default skin should genuinely be the Monopoly Man right now. The amount of gold that he just injects into a team. And it used to be this weird balance, right, where Bounty Hunter lineup had to snowball. It just had to. Because you were getting gold influx, and then you could easily start feeding that back. But it's the way at which you just get gold now. You don't have to go for the kills. You can just poke and prod and snatch away so much income for the opponent.
Yep. And this fact that you can play Bounty as a support, and with these like pseudo damage items like Spirit Vessel, Vlad's, Drums, you can solo kill supports. You win one fight, you get one item. You win another fight, you get another item. All of a sudden, you're a core. However, another hero that has this... the gold from the previous Dota in new Dota is Alchemist. And I think this is a big reason why Alchemist's win rate has gone up. I think this is a big reason why this is a niche pick that we're seeing in pro-level pubs that people are destroying with. It's because alternate ways to get gold in Dota right now is much better, because Alchemist has not been nerfed. The gold has not been nerfed, but every other source of gold has. So I think Alk is really good. I really like Alk with Pudge too, because we saw Pudge fall off and become a support, but he was still making space, right? So it makes a lot of sense to pick Pudge, who is going to fall off and become a support, when you have an Alchemist that you're making space for, and it's like, you don't need to be a core on Pudge when you have an Alk on your team, especially Alk Jug. Like, they have enough carry potential, right? They can have 3 supports in this game, and it's fine. I'm going to favor the FlyToMoon draft on this one.
Oh, that is fair, because the other thing I guess you could actually highlight here is, if you are up against an Alchemist, you want something that can inject itself and harass him, right? You've got bounty, sure, but you haven't got the finish. You haven't got the kill potential easily until Clock's online. It's not like where you draft an Earth Spirit, for example, with an Oracle, and you just go and chase him around the jungle. You can't easily get on top of him.
It's a problem with picking a Medusa, is that there's not really threat to kill the Alchemist unless you have all of Na'Vi there. You're probably going to need Pango with his ultimate, maybe a Javelin. Like you said, you're going to need the Clockwork to have some farm, probably use the hook, have Bounty scout him. Like, you have to commit a lot to going on this Alchemist, but I don't know. I have faith in Pudge's ability to create space. Like, if there's one thing that this hero does well, it's act like a complete maniac running around the map and just getting people to run at him. Like, Pudge is one of the best heroes to pick with an Alchemist.
Fair point. Na'Vi definitely put themselves in a greedy scenario by picking up that Medusa. And funnily enough, last time I saw Alk, it didn't work out. Like, I've seen it a few times in the Dream League Major. It didn't have a great win rate there. As you said, it has been working as kind of niche pick in high-level pub games. But definitely teams have been struggling to transition it.
Right. It's like in competitive, it's a lot easier to orchestrate a smoke gank into the Alk's jungle, whereas in pubs, nobody's really going to group up and do anything, so Alk just kind of gets to free farm. But I guess in this scenario where you have a Medusa on the enemy team, maybe that's why they think it's a good pick here, because it's hard to orchestrate a rotation with Medusa when you want to be the one farming. You know, so how do you infiltrate the enemy jungle with a Medusa?
It's also the way Medusa, like, if you draft a Medusa, you definitely feel better about as a backup plan being Dire side. Like, if you're Radiant side, you feel like you're going to have to come out the lane swinging because you get that initial advantage of the close creep camp in the mid. But after that, it's not as efficient to just farm that Radiant triangle as it is the Dire triangle.
Yep. Dire triangle's really nice.
It is the glorious spot.
They honestly, if there's one thing they need to change just because it's been that way for so long, it's like the Dire triangle. And probably something with bounty runes, too.
Oh, Blizzy. He's just snatching the runes away from Yoki in the top.
Yoki has the Flesh Heap level 1 once again, so, you know, he's healing to full HP with the harass. No fear, bot lane.
Yeah, he's going down. Nice rotation from Na'Vi. They get themselves Rune of Edge, and they get a kill.
Yeah, that's really bad for Windstrike, because this is an aggressive tri-lane, so losing First Blood in aggressive tri-lane is really bad, because it means Na'Vi might get level 2 before they do. Soneko's actually TPing straight up the top. They're doing a rotation. They want Medusa versus the Pudge. By the way, they're doing a BH mid.
Yeah, that's someone we didn't actually get a chance to highlight, is the Bounty Hunter mid, just instantly looking to snatch gold away from the Alchemist, stop any ramp up.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense because this is a Spirit Vessel builder too, so you can get an early Spirit Vessel and kill the Alk. There's a timing where you need to kill the Alk before he gets a Manta Style with the Spirit Vessel, but a lot of the time on a supporter and offlaner, Alk actually farms the Manta Style before you get the Spirit Vessel, so he's a lot harder to kill. So this allows for that timing where they can kill the Alchemist. I really like this laning setup that they have from Na'Vi.
Definitely instant punishment as well, because I think the kind of comparative here is Alk on the Radiant versus Dire side. In these early levels, better to be Radiant side. If he's on the Dire side, you can punish any attempt to greedily farm jungle and lane, because it's so far away.
Yeah, that's true. You can't just sit in experience range for the mid lane while also jungling, which honestly, it's nuts that you can do that on Radiant. I think that's something that's probably going to get patched in the near future.
Yeah, it was very indicative of a lot of Alk and Medusa games when they first made that change. It's like, okay, these Medusas seem great on Dire side because that triangle, but then they were instantly getting better value, especially when they first released the patch and everyone was spamming Wraith Bands. Yeah. It was just so much better to actually be Radiant side.
Yeah, Kunkka too is a big one. You just like Tidebringer the camp, stack it up. Tinker even can march the mid lane.
He's living. He just about lived. Salves up as well. They get the kill on the Chew. Okay, that was living life on the edge. Some serious aggression coming out there. But yeah, no, I think it's just... I'm 100% with this. I don't like this camp being accessible like that. It's just an insane booster to the Radiant side, which already has a huge advantage with the Roche Pit.
Right. I think, I think that it's cool to have it for like a little while just to see what happens. But after, we've had a few patches of it, it's time where it's kind of like, all right, we can change this now. This is a little, because in every single game, Radiant mid laner is just, it's so much easier to play Radiant. At least in pubs.
And deceptively, it's kind of ending up that way right now, because look at the CS. Okay, Alk has a huge advantage. Look at the net worth. Not that big, actually. He's losing most of his gold to crystallize.
Yeah. Janata, what a spell.
It's like he's just ramming a funnel in his own throat and forcing Iceberg to feed him.
Yeah. Although Crystallize is having to funnel salves down his throat, too, because he's taking all that acid spray damage, so...
Pretty rough for him. He did pick up an Orb of Venom as well, just to try and snatch extra gold. Point here as well is Iceberg has to keep funneling out regen. It's not a one-way war where you're just basically winning an attrition battle. They're both suffering in terms of actual items being picked up because of the salves, because of the tank.
I feel like this is a common thing in the mid lane these days, is where you both just pressure each other and then buy a regen, and neither of you are really farming. It's kind of like, all right, let's agree to disagree here, and we'll both just farm. Oh, hitting each other. Right. Well, I think you favor your Alk if that's... You favor the Alk if you make that agreement, for sure, so...
No fear. Taking a lot of damage to the top. Snako chasing him down. Doesn't have the mana for the cogs, though. Magic Missile come out just to make sure Clockwork can't do anything more. Medusa chased away by Yoki.
God, that level 1 rot is just awful. You can just walk out of it.
Just, like, hits him once. Like, this is a reminder that soon I will slow you enough to kill you. Soon.
The problem, too, is that Pudge has the lowest BAT in the entire game. So... You hit somebody, and if you instantly like don't cancel the backswing, they just run out of the rot instantly. It's just such a sad life.
It's not like you're a fast hero that can afford to go for an Orb of Venom, right? Like, you're so slow. You want to win lace, you want boots, you want all these things.
Yeah.
Neko, is he being baited in? Magic Missile's going to come out looking for 10 around. Yoki, he has to go for the hook. Gets the deny just afterwards.
Nice. Free trip back to base.
Just living life a little bit close to the edge. Worked out, though.
You take that, man. That's +1 flesh heaps.
Also, OP advantage for Pudge. Remember, he can deny himself, as we just saw. We already knew that, but something most people forget. Most people just try to deny themselves to towers these days. You can kill yourself and be back very quick. You don't get that longer spawn time because you died on neutrals.
Yep, that's one of the few things about Pudge that makes him not a bad support. It's just that denying yourself to the tier 2 doesn't cost that much. It says 100 gold each, but it's not... Ooh, can they get the track?
No fit. No fit. Can he actually get killed by Roche? No, he can't. They got his attention.
That's a track kill.
Easy money. A rotation by 4 heroes towards the Roche pit pays off.
Ooh, Snako. He might find Iceberg really low HP.
Yeah, he doesn't have a shrine either. He
sees him.
Yeah, he can get him. Snako's going to move forward. TP's coming into assist, but it's too late. Barrier Assault. Can he connect? The creeps need to move away, and Iceberg, he's dead. Always want to fly. He just offered himself up as tribute as well. There's a 2-on-1. Can Snako bring him down in time? He's stunned up. It looks like he should fall for this. Wins strike.
He has a 1 charge. He's baiting it.
They need to be careful. Always want to fly. One more hit will do it. Snako. He does go down. Always want to fly. Will just about live. A little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, that was some nice nice baits. I think always want to fly felt pretty confident there. Just kind of baiting in the Clockworks to the bench. Because they held the bench stun for a really long time there. I think if they were truly afraid, you'd see him just throw that out instantly. But they were baiting. Although, I mean, when you solo kill an Alchemist and force 2 rotations from the supports, that's...
You don't care. You're happy with that at that stage.
You're cool with that. That's space created right there.
And actually now, Bounty Hunter has more gold than the Alchemist.
Yep.
That's a level 3, actually, Janata, with the phase boots. I don't think anyone can lane against him right now, right?
No, I don't think so. Doesn't even go for the invis. Doesn't need it. That is just a nice little microcosm of this patch in a nutshell.
Oh, Yoki getting super aggressive. He wants to kill into Magical, and he might better get it. He's got the hook to drag him back. Mango eating Magical, trying to get as much shield up as possible. But Yoki gets the kill, tries to walk away, will die for it, but that's a 2-on-1, and he basically wins the trade.
I can't believe he just 1v2 killed a Medusa with an Oracle.
With a Mango as well, okay? He had the extra protection. Lizzie, they dive him. He needs to actually get out of here. He's got the Maledict on him. They're going to see him, though, and the Omni Slash does come out to ensure the death of the Pangolier.
Yeah, that's a nice timing. Get to level 6.
And look at Seneko. Nice. He's on it again. Iceberg at least has level 6 now, but Disruptive Farm. Just trying to snatch all the creeps that he can. Magic Missile's going to come out. Wave of Terror, they're looking to punish him. They actually get away from this in time. He does have a salve. He might be okay, but they cut the trees, chase him through. He'll salve now. Maybe should have done it sooner, because they're going to cancel it straight away, and they've got a Magic Missile task as well. Just throw everything, ensure that he dies.
Okay, so that's
so much.
Yeah, that's space. But anytime you're giving an Alk a kill, especially when he's about to farm a 4-stack in the jungle, maybe that's not too great, you know?
It's not your only issue, though. Look at the Jug. He's top net worth. He's having the time of his life right now. This isn't just kill the Alk. You've got a huge question in your head. What do you do about the Juggernaut in the next 10 minutes?
Yeah, and at the moment the Pudge starts grouping up with the Jug too, like this is an early game fighting hero. Pudge loves to play with an early game fighting hero, and then, you know, Pudge falls off. You have a carry that eventually just hard carries in the Alchemist. Like, this is a perfect Pudge draft. He just needs to get his level 7, and probably start rotating.
Go for phase boots again as well. I like these phase boots so much on the Pudge though, because alright, I have an interesting way of looking at phase boots. I always call them a mini blink dagger because of the positional factor, right? Like, you don't have any other boot choice that allows you to close a gap rapidly if you've been attacked.
Yep. Well, nice TP out bot lane. Yeah, Tranquil Boots like used to be decent, but they're kind of a lot worse. Well, not even kind of. They're a lot worse on Pudge right now because boots now give you like percentage movement speed. So when you're giving a hero who has 280 base movement speed or less, percentage movement speed, it's equivalent to like old brown boots. So Tranquils aren't even that great on Pudge. So you may as well just go for the phase boots. Use that phase for the gap closing and get the armor. I think as a support Pudge it would make a lot of sense. It's just that a lot of the time you can't afford it. But as a core, I mean, you can certainly afford it.
And I wonder if so yeah, no, I was wondering, so 4-star and Vanguard. Meanwhile, Witchlock going down. I wouldn't mind actually. Drums feel like they'd be pretty justified on a hero like Pudge as well, actually. Oh, nice use of the Dismember there next to the creep wave as well. The creep camp ensures that Seneko loses a lot of health before the back resort interrupts the Dismember. And the hook through. Seneko going to get low. Can Yuki get the kill? Yes, he can. Can he deny himself is the real question. No, he can't. While that happened, by the way, Iceberg got ran through solo by Crystallize.
Yeah, this BH is shaping up to be a big problem. And, you know, giving this hero track kills is equivalent to giving Alchemist free farm in the jungle. So, yeah.
Time to give Crystallize more free farm. Hook shot in the mid lane. No fear's been found. No level 6. No swap. And soon, no life. I like that. Agreed from Crystallize. Like, wait, guys. Do you know how to soon? Oh, hook. Doesn't connect on the right one. Blocked by his own teammate.
From the illusion? Probably not, eh?
I hope not. Good God,
that would be disgusting.
Venge never being picked again due to that.
Yeah.
I like this go for the Vlads as well. I just like the way Navi's identifying this ramp up they have off the back of the Bounty Hunter. They just want to maximize it.
They don't even need the Spirit Vessel because the Alk isn't an issue at this point, and they're farming so fast on Crystallize that even if he builds into the Spirit Vessel eventually, they'll still have it before he has the Meta style. So yeah, they're just building to push really early.
And if you get good timing on level 12 as well, you can actually just have, for example, the Oracle start rotating with you and have him go for the Spirit Vessel because he'll get enough gold with the track kills.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Track, pretty good spell. Smoke coming up to the top lane. We got supports plus Pudge. So the supports...
Yeah, but Seneko breaks it. He gives his life. But the problem is they can't dismember. Cogs on the 2 to ensure that his core can escape.
Nice. Space for Alk, space for Jug. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I really love this Flesh Heap max build, just because it lets you, and then going for the Rot, just because it lets you jungle, and Pudge suffers immensely when it comes to just farming around the map. You can't jungle on this hero. You don't have the armor for it. You don't have the damage. Rock hits you with all the damage that it does as well. But if you have Flesh Heat max, he's got 11 extra regen. So total, he's sitting at 24 regen with the Ring of Health. So he can actually jungle.
You have a good support combo to kill as well. That's the other thing with the Maledict, with the stun and the minus armor that you get from the bench. And actually, they're going to try and move top. Problem is, you just blew 2 TPs, you're smoked up, and Crystallize already knows something's wrong. He's already retreating.
Yeah.
Taneko, however, he just died here recently. He doesn't care, though. He just wants to try and get the kill. The swap's going to come out. Rolling Thunder through. Stuns up on the Venge. They're going to activate the Shrine to stay alive. Taneko will get away. Dismember interrupted by the Rolling Thunder from Blizzing. Crystallize chase it through. Look at the kill and always want to fly. Will find it. Then turn around, come back towards this. Crystallize going to back up. Arc does still have the Omni Slash to work with, but starts off with a spin with the Blade Fury. Magic Missile on the Clockwork, but he has got the Cogs to protect himself. And Yoki just trying to zone the rest of the team out. Omni Slash on the one does get the kill onto the Clockwork. The Swashbuckle through, silence up, and kill off the Pudge as he has no easy way out of this. All that, and look at the lack of kills. 1 for 1. Or 2 for 1, rather. Witch Doctor just spawning a little bit too quick.
Pushes the Alk out of the jungle. It's track kills as well, and I think that could have gone a lot worse for Windstrike for sure. That Rolling Thunder honestly was what sealed the deal. Interrupts the Dismember, hits both the supports as well. Now they see Iceberg in the jungle. They're not going to go for him because they have the Sentry. He sees it, but yeah, that Rolling Thunder.
Oh, they'll go for this though. Arc does put out the spin. They're hesitant though. They see the reinforcements on the high ground. They knew something was up. But it's like this back and forth argument. They just basically have to get in the way of Iceberg and slow him down, because if they can do that, on the other side of the map, there's always going to be magical farming. But we highlighted very early on, the counter argument from that perspective is Jug farming well, because you know he's going to build that Diffuse or Manta and just try and rush down the mana pool of the Medusa quickly.
He has been falling off though a little bit, just because there isn't really enough space for him to be farming on the map with an Alchemist. Unless you take over the enemy jungle, but that is typically what, your Pudge-esque hero, your offlaner wants to do with the supports. So Jug is he's in this position where he basically has to run around and fight, but without the Omni, he's a lot worse at fighting.
A moment of silence for Witch Doctor, who just lost half his HP to a single Janada.
Yeah, I was gonna say he just got 1 hit. Poor fellow.
But highlight that point, it's a fair one. They have to get that jungle, but you can see the Sentry priority, making sure it's covered, making sure there's no easy approach. And we saw what happened when they move in this area as the Bounty Hunter, the best hero to punish that sort of aggressive move into the Radiant jungle. No fear, down half HP. In trouble. Gonna get low. Rolling Thunder's coming through, though. Swap out, try and protect the swap back again. No. Gonna lose the Venge already. They activate the Stone Gaze pretty far away. Chasing is going to force Arc off and away from them. Iceberg holding his ground on the high ground. Dismember comes out into Pangolier, separating him from the rest of his team. Stun from Iceberg, flown out on the Bounty Hunter. Secures them the Bounty Rune. They won't find anything else. The False Promise keeps Pangolier alive.
What a Rolling Thunder. Honestly, Blizzy has been destroying in both of these games. First with the Kunkka. He's not doing damage in either of these games. He's just controlling the fights using his stuns. The double torrents, Rolling Thunder. In both of these fights that we've seen go really well for NaVi, he's been hitting 3 or 4 people with the Rolling Thunder 2 or 3 times, which is a huge impact when you have damage on your team. Crystallize is doing all the damage they need. They don't even need Magical to do damage at this point. Crystallize does it all.
Yeah, we'll just have them covered later. And look where Magical is now sitting. Second in terms of net worth. And where's that Jug? PK behind him. Still doesn't have the Manta completed, and after that, he still needs the Diffusal before the Medusa actually cares about him. Yeah,
and then Medusa might have a Butterfly at that point. That's the problem. That's the problem when your map is limited by an Alchemist. Alk plus any traditional carry is very greedy. You usually need to get a couple of early towers if you want to sustain. The amount of gold you need for that.
Do you feel like one of the big problems with picking Alk at the moment is the type of carries that are actually viable? For example, something like Chaos Knight isn't really being played in the carry position, but is an example of a hero that doesn't need huge amounts of gold to get relevance in the mid game.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think Jug can sometimes be that hero, but with the nerf to Omni Slash, where the cooldown is now longer, so you can fight a lot less. Healing Ward is a lot worse in general. This hero is still good, but I think a large part of the reason that he could fight in the early game was just because he's generally a good hero. Whereas something like a Chaos Knight, you kind of have to fight in the early game of the Chaos Knights. It's what the hero does. He doesn't farm. So yeah, it definitely would make a lot of sense to pick this with this kind of CK. And maybe Jug is just a little bit too nerfed.
It's kind of awkward because it's definitely a hero that needs to feel like he's ahead as well. You always want to be one item ahead of the other carry. And that's kind of the beauty of the Bounty Hunter pick in this game by NaVi is Crystallize has been able to just inject all this extra cash and ensure the Juggernaut usually feels poor.
Yep, makes sense. I also think item build-wise, like going for treads, for example, is more of a late-game-centric, like, carry build, whereas the Phase Boots lets you fight. Like you said, it's like a pseudo-Blink Dagger. So if you're fighting and you have this pseudo-Blink Dagger gap close, you can kill the supports. You can be way more useful in the fights, and you're tankier, too. So, and he's kind of playing as if he has a Battle Fury, just pushing out the side lanes. But even Alk, that's supposed to be doing that.
Hook shot.
Ooh, nice.
Speaking of the Alk, they find him. Nice swap out coming in from No Fear. He'll give his life for this. Wrong fun to interrupt the Pangolier. Can't get it out just yet. Just going to back up. Already on the high ground. They don't even get the kill to No Fear in the end. He might tick out the Spirit Vessel. It's going to be close, and it will be a cigar. They get the kill.
Oh my god.
It was an adorable attempt with his owner, and he's like, I will live.
The one tick of Urn, yeah. This is same thing that we saw last game. There's like nice swaps, really nice hooks out, but when you're just using all of your spells to run away from your opponents, you're not really getting anything done. You're just losing Dota, but losing it less. Generally in Dota, you want to be the one that's actually making moves. It's dictating the tempo of the game, as opposed to just responding to what the enemy team is doing. So when you have Pudge Venge on your team and you're just hooking people out and swapping out, it's a sad life. Although you do have an Alchemist, so playing defensive isn't that bad, but you're playing into a Medusa, and the Bounty Hunter, like you said, is injecting so much gold. That changes the whole dynamic of the game. It's not just a regular Alk game.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, 4 of you died, but Alk was farming. No, it's 4 of you died, and the whole team was farming because they have a Bounty Hunter.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Bounty's actually, it seems like a decent counter to Alk. This is why I call this hero a gambler-esque hero in Dota, because it's the same reason Bounty counters Timber. You steal gold from him. Like, you don't kill him, you just steal gold from Timber, who tanks up and runs in the lane at you. And it breaks matchups. Because, like, usually you think, oh, melee hero can't kill Timber. Timber owns this. But you steal so much gold from a Timber frontlining. It's the same thing with Alk. It's like, well, it counters Alk, but for this weird gold-related reason.
I think the best way to kind of compare the feeling as well is, you know when you get that game as the Slark, where you're super far ahead and you're up against an Axe, but he's tanky. And he calls you, and you just keep punching into him. You're like, I'm not going to die to this, but my god, am I getting value out of this. Lizzie, however, in the bot lane. Gonna mech up. Nice false promise to protect him, but the stun should lock him in the spot. And no chance to get the Raw Thunder out. He's stuck here. They throw everything but the kitchen sink at him. And it doesn't mean he's gonna die.
Chu didn't even bother to use Purifying Flames on him at all, because he just knew it was gonna be too much damage. By the way, Chu is sitting on a healing salve. He's just keeping it in his inventory, which is super good strat. Very interesting if you use the False Promise on somebody. Of course, you can salve them while the False Promise is going, and since they take no damage, the salve doesn't break. So you can actually save people with the False Promise salve combo. So it's cool to see that he's actually doing that. It's a bit of like a cheeky, gimmicky strat, but it works. So it's good. It's like Wisp just having a casual salve. You may as well, you know.
That's pretty strong. Used to be even better because you used to have the old Spirit Vessel, right, where you got huge value on the heals. That's why they picked it up on Clockwork instead this game. It's not really a defensive item anymore. Spirit Vessel is clearly designed to be that aggressive item.
Yeah, agreed. For whatever reason, the Toad of Frost wants it to be that way. He keeps buffing the damage and nerfing the heal, and especially because regen does not scale the way it did before with your intelligence and with your strength. So technically that alone was like a big nerf to the Spirit Vessel. Because, you know, even the Urn component of the Spirit Vessel, the raw HP regen would scale. Same with Bottle. Bottle's, like, worse now than it was before because of the regen changes, which is a big reason why Storm is so awful.
I'm pretty glad they made the change to Spirit Vessel, though. Like, for me, I don't know, like, I just viewed it as this quick cut ram. Every team needed it, right? Like how Vlad's was once you patched it ago. It's just this item that made sense in every lineup. Because I kind of
feel like it's back to that point, though, don't you? Like, where it's just so good that you see it in almost every game.
Yeah, that's fair. On, like, a support, you look and you go, okay, it's going to tank me up. It's going to stop any good regen on a hero. We have to have this.
Right. We're like in this meta of pseudo utility damage items like the Vlads, Helm Dominators, Guardian Greaves on damage heroes like SF, Queen of Pain. It's this like mixing damage with also utility items and fighting, which makes sense like in an early game fighting meta to build items that do these kind of like dual aspects where you're not just building into, pipe or something like that.
It does feel like it invalidates AA though. This has been always my biggest worry, is just Ancient Apparition feels kind of pointless because you can build an item that basically does what you're trying to get out of it.
Bounty Hunter, not the place to go, my friend.
Crystallize abort. BKB activated. He doesn't want to be stunned. Instead, Iceberg will be. Raw Fun is being charged up. The thing about coming in, Dismember's going to be there, but they're in trouble. Death forward, trying to do damage. Nice save going on to Crystallize. Make sure he'll stay alive indefinitely with the false promise. And now they turn around. Looking for kill on a Pudge. They already got the kill on the Alk. And now the Omnislash through. Suneko's going to fall. Looking to turn around. Crystallize down to half HP already. Magic Missile comes out. Pangolier with the mech to try and keep him up. Crystallize will get around range of the Blade Fury, but Jew turns around. Looking for the kill on a No Fear. Can't get him low enough. Has to back away. The buyback came out from Clock. Swashbuckle through. Arc slowed down with the Skadi, and Magical just run him through and kill him off the swap. Doesn't get him out of danger. In fact, just throws a second hero into the line sight of the Medusa. And they're going to keep chasing. They want Yoki as well. They can't find him, but they can at least find this tier 3 tower.
Medusa's a problem. Skadi Manta style at 23 minutes into the game. I don't know how they kill him. Hook him into tier 4s with Pudge. Well,
there it is.
Let's see.
No, it doesn't work. They're like, wait, what if we get silenced by the Swashbuckle or stunned by the multitude of options that Na'Vi have right now? It just feels like Yoki is feeling slightly invalidated here. Oh, stun coming out. Iceberg pretty deep. We'll use the Manta pretty early. Pudge TPing balls deep here, looking for something. Folks to try and block them away. Stone Gaze to make sure they can't even look and turn around for a hook opportunity. Yoki going to be chased to his tier 4s again.
Yeah, they get out. There's no point in not.
You say that. Magical is going to go for the swap, but still half on mana. Medusa should be safe. The hook down doesn't matter. Venge already dead. Now the hook shot through will secure the kill on Yoki as well. No, the Cogs. Arc's locked in. He needs to get out of it quick. Blade Fury's about to run out. He doesn't have an Omni Slash, but the Roll and Thunder, that's off cooldown. Blizzy going to chase through. They stun him, lock him on the spot, and Jug should be falling. That will just signal to go for another set of racks to the side of Na'Vi.
So yeah, that's the typical issue with Pudge and Venge as heroes when you're behind, is like you swap the enemy team in or you hook the enemy team in, but then they just kill you because they want to fight in the first place. It doesn't matter if you're repositioned. You have a
PG.
10k, 13k gold lead.
So I think the big story of this game, when you think of that combo you're talking about where they just want to swap people and they want to drag people in, it's not, oh god, the Medusa, they swap the Medusa and they can't kill her. It's not this bounty hunter, it's pretty tanky. It's even if we weren't this stage when Na'Vi ran out of the laning phase so strong, you're still up against a lineup that has an Oracle that will always save with the false promise on whoever you swap into the mess.
Pretty good counter. Pretty good counter to single target, this Oracle hero. I would also like to say that the counter initiations from Blizzy in both of these games has been absolutely phenomenal. I can't like think of a single team fight where he didn't hit 3 to 4 people with the Rolling Thunder. Even the Jug, like he bounced off the fountain to hit the Jug with a second hit of the Rolling Thunder after the Jug's Manta, which secured the kill on the Jug, which secured the GG call. So it's like he's not doing all this damage, although let's look at his damage. So he did 13k. He's actually doing a decent amount of damage. I did the second most damage in the game. But he's also providing all of this teamfight lockdown. How do you ban this guy out, though, if he's just doing this on 2 completely different heroes?
And
Kunkka and the Pangolier.
Well, that's just not the biggest thing here. I think is always came down to that Jug pick. And I just feel like that's what kind of hurt them more than anything else. It's not just the way that they play around this ramp up of the Bounty Hunter. As you said, it also comes down to Blizzy just having so many damn heroes that give good control. And maybe that is one of your big focuses, is you went too hard into the single target focus. And that meant, if you're doing that, who do you target? Because this Oracle, you have to ban Oracle if you're going for that. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is if you want to have a lineup that is focused around flipping one kill and going for another, Oracle is your most hated appearance there, unless you have the means to catch it.
Right, I was going to say, like, you can ban it, but you could also just pick heroes that do well. Like, if you pick a Night Stalker and you run the Night Stalker at the back lines and you silence the Oracle just by, like, running at him, you can pick a Panda, you throw the Oracle up with the Panda, you can doom the Oracle. Like, you need something to counter the Oracle like you said, if you're picking a bunch of single target heroes that get countered by Oracle, which honestly is a lot of the meta. A lot of the meta is heroes are countered by Oracle, which is why the hero is one of the most picked heroes in pubs. And has with I think about 1,500 picks, he's got like a 52-53% win rate in pro level pubs as like the 6th or 7th most picked hero. So it's a very good hero in this meta, and especially if you're picking Pudge, Witch Doctor, Venge, Juggernaut, all these single target heroes, you know.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Oracle is the name of the game right now. Like Pangolier gets a lot of fame in the limelight. He is definitely a hero that is ridiculous right now, but if you're talking about the way you want to draft, the way you want to pick early, you usually want to get the supports out of the way. And I just genuinely feel like there's nothing that really compares to the levels of utility control and beneficial elements of the hero that you get out of an Oracle pick.
It's like Shadow Shaman and Oracle. Those are like the 2 best 5s in Dota right now, I think.
That's true. Although some teams like the Shaman as a 4, understandably, for the Blink Dagger Rush.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm thinking like pubs. Like if you get a lot more control in pubs. You just do whatever you want.
But that's NA pubs, all right? We're here in the CIS pubs, where
that's true.
Where the pudges don't quite work out as well as some teams would hope, and we got plenty of action here, folks. This is not the only CIS game. I believe they are gonna like kick us off the main channel and put us on 4 or something. I think I heard. Apparently, CIS don't have the same swing as EU. We just need a few TI winners in CIS. That changes. Maybe VP this year could turn that around. That'd be nice. However, we're gonna go to a short break. I'm gonna find out which series we've got next. Let me just have a look. Let me consult the omnipotent schedules, because I believe we are gonna have the winners match. So that should be NaVi versus either Gamble or Uva Jenny. I don't know who's won that series. I'll find that out. I'll find that out now. I should have that information. I'm incompetent at my job. I'm gonna go try not get fired for like 10 or 20 minutes, and then hopefully we'll be back with the next series.